Howdy folks, this is Julius Brown, and tonight we're going to talk about where we are in the United States today. In the US today, there are two major protests going on. The first is for police reform. Police have shown time and time again that the deaths of African Americans at their hands means nothing to them. That they can and will kill us and will not be held accountable for their actions. Through their inaction, actually, they've shown us at least 3 times this year in 2020 that black lives don't matter to them. We talked about the death of Ahmaud Arbery, who was hunted down by 2 vigilantes for being a stranger jogging in their neighborhood. Police justified this as a citizen's arrest and for 3 months did nothing to bring his killers to justice, except make excuses about why not to prosecute them. We talked about the death of Breonna Taylor, who the police admit did nothing illegal, but they felt her home had been used by somebody to hide narcotics. So using a no-knock warrant, they broke into her home in the dead of night, where they encountered her boyfriend, who, being a red-blooded American citizen and a legal gun owner, decided to protect his home and fire on the unknown assailants. Police returned fire and killed Breonna Taylor. To this day, and possibly never, police have done nothing to bring her killers to justice. And we talked about the death, the execution of George Floyd. His execution was caught on camera. That video evidence was in the hands of Minneapolis police officials before his body was even cold. And they immediately started justifying his death. And when they found out that the video had been seen around the world, for 3 days, not a single sworn officer in Minneapolis went after his killers. Not one arrest. 3 days. 800 sworn officers did nothing. Because a black person being caught on camera being executed by a police officer means absolutely nothing to them. So we protest. In all 50 states we protest, and I'm so happy for that. I'm not happy that there were riots. But before the riots, during the riots, and after the riots, there were peaceful protests. And police beat down unarmed, peaceful protesters. And the media with batons, riot shields, rubber bullets, pepper spray, flashbangs. Because how dare we ask the police stop killing us? And how dare we ask that they be held accountable if they do? The federal government sent out the National Guard to put down the riots and the protesters because Donald Trump doesn't support the protests, not the ones for police reform. Because there's another protest going on that Donald Trump does support. One for the actual freedoms of U.S. U.S. citizenry is being assaulted, is being threatened with the loss of their freedom because of this. A lifeless piece of cloth. A face mask. This one's Sonic the Hedgehog. My wife got it for me, my son loves it, and I'm always going to be a Sonic fan. There's a pandemic that has claimed the lives of 134,000 U.S. citizens to date. And people are threatened because a lifeless piece of cloth is being suggested to them. Not a law. It's being suggested that they wear it. because it might possibly protect them from catching COVID-19, might possibly protect them or someone else from spreading COVID-19. It might save a life, but it's their right to not follow the suggestion. So they're marching on state capitals with semi-automatic weapons. I'm sure none of them modified them, and rocket launchers. Because they can. And the police support this. Because police aren't beating them down in the streets. So, we have people protesting armed because they don't want to wear a piece of cloth that may or may not save their life or someone else's. They have every right to be terrified of a simple, lifeless piece of cloth, to fight for their freedom. But black people do not have the right to be afraid of the police, to want police to be held accountable for their actions, and to not kill us. That's where we are in the United States today. Good journey, folks.